Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for those who have subscribed. Those who haven't subscribed, please remember to subscribe. So today I'm going to talk to you about my wedding story, my wedding journey experience. It all started in 2015. I met him in college. It was in 2015. The program was running actually for 1 year. So 1 year, I can tell you, it's not a long time to know someone. But in 2015 there was nothing much, so we were just students, college mates, and he was in a different class. I was in class A, he was in class E, but because I was a morning person, we could, with my friends, together with my friends, we could attend their classes during afternoon hours. Luckily enough, I thank my friends because we had mutual friends who are also his friends, so they're the ones actually who introduced us, and then we picked it up from there. So during our college time, we could just attend classes. We didn't know each other, so there was nothing much that we used to talk about, but we used to meet at the school cafeteria and the library. So when we were almost nearing to the exam time, that was in November, in 2015 November, we had this particular topic that was giving us problem in understanding. So together with my friends, we agreed to invite him so that he can come and teach us more about that extradition topic. Luckily enough, my friend Maggie called him and he honored our invitation and he came. He taught us about the topic. He really explained it so well until we understood. So exam time came, we did our exam, we finished, we parted ways. So in 2016, I secured pupillage at Ajip House. He continued working. He did his pupillage where he was previously working, so at Insurance Plaza, while I was at Ajib House. But we could meet in court, Sharia House, Land Registry, Company Registry, because of the nature of our work allowed us to meet at least once in a while. So our friendship grew. I could consult him whenever I had, or whenever I experienced a problem, or whenever I had difficulty in doing a particular thing. I could call him, and then he freely explained to me how I was supposed to go about the situation. So we continued meeting in town, we continued meeting in the line of duty. Nothing much, having him not declared his intention towards me. So it was this particular time when he called me and asked me whether we can go have lunch together. Luckily enough, that day I was free, so I told him, okay, let's go have lunch together. So we went, we ate, we talked about our pupillage experience, we talked about general life story, we talked about what we really wanted to do with our life. We didn't talk about ourselves. We really didn't talk much about our personal lives. We were just talking about general stories and our career stories and general stories. So we parted ways. We continued meeting in town, continued meeting in court, continued meeting in line of duty. So again, he invited me. There was this particular day when it had rained so much, and then he invited me out for coffee. I gladly went. We had coffee, we talked about general life stories until we extended to dinner because it was so late. So we decided to have dinner together in that particular hotel, and then we parted ways. We went to our respective houses. even after that, he still had not declared his intentions towards me. So me, I just treated him as a friend. I also think he also treated me as a friend, but at the back of my mind I was like, this guy is trying to know me more and more, which is okay for any particular person, because at school we didn't have that much time to interact, because he was working, so he could work from morning to lunch hour. He comes to class, then after class he goes back to his house, so we didn't have much time to interact while at school. At least these coffee dates and lunch dates and dinner dates maybe enabled him to know me more and more as a person. Again, another dinner date came. Okay, so me, I didn't have any problem with that. I gladly accepted his invitation for having dinner with him. We talked stories. Dinner date, it's the one which now changed our relationship, because we were just friends who were good friends. And then that dinner day, he declared his intentions towards me. He told me, by the way, I like you as a person. I told him, okay, thank you. I know that was an awkward way of responding, but that's the much I could say. And then he told me he would wish us to become more than friends. At that time, I didn't expect it, because we were just friends. I'm used to having coffee dates with him. So I told him, I requested for some more time to give him an answer. So he kept on insisting. Days went by. I had not given him an answer yet, so he kept on insisting what was my answer. So eventually, after thinking about it, I told him, let's give it a try and see where this journey will take us. He was so happy about it, and then we agreed that we should know where each one of us stays. So he invited me to his place, where I went and confirmed he wasn't staying with anyone, he was alone. And I also invited him to my place where I was staying. He also came, confirmed I wasn't staying with anyone. And then thereafter, our relationship blossomed, our relationship grew, and we became even more friends. So in 2016, still towards the end of 2016, he was being admitted as an advocate, accepted the invitation, and I attended the ceremony. That's when I met his mother, I met the uncles, I met the brothers and sisters, cousins, nephews, nieces. Yes, I met some of his family members. So the function was good. He introduced me to his family members. The ceremony was okay. We ate a lot, and thank God. So again, he had a ceremony at his home in the village, whereby I was also invited to go and celebrate with them a Thanksgiving prayer. I also went to his home. That was in December 2016. I gladly accepted the invitation. I told my mother I was going to see a friend of mine, and then I went. I celebrated with them. We thanked God. I got to know most of his family members, and then I came back home. In 2017, he took it a notch higher, whereby he proposed to me. He proposed to me in 2017. So I'll tell you a story about my proposal. There was this one evening, we were in his village, their home, and then we had just finished praying as a family when he sent me. Actually, it's like the rest of the people knew what was about to happen, but I didn't know what was about to happen. So normally what happens after people are done praying, they go to their respective houses. Enjoyed, we had stories, and then later on they went back to their home. I remained at home. So at least with that, I knew this person is a serious person. He's aimed at something. In 2018, he told me to talk to my mother about dowry negotiation and payment. So I spoke to my mother, I told him about it, and then we secured a date which was favorable to both families. And then he sent his family members who came and negotiated the dowry on his behalf. And we also had our family members who negotiated the dowry on my behalf. And then he made part payment of the dowry, which was agreeable by the family members at that time. So having fulfilled that, we were now ready with the blessings of our parents, who were now ready to plan for our wedding in 2019. And actually, the journey started in June 2019, whereby we made an application we wrote a letter actually to our senior pastor at KG Feather here in Nairobi. But first of all, let me tell you, before even we started planning for our wedding, my mother-in-law really wanted our wedding to happen at home in the village, but we had our own reservations. And still, since we stay here in Nairobi, we really did want to, since we stay here in Nairobi, we have a lot of friends here in Nairobi, we preferred our wedding to be here in Nairobi because of our friends. But later on, we talked to her, we convinced to her, we were able to give her reasons as to why we preferred our wedding to be here in Nairobi. So upon agreeing to that, we talked to our senior pastor here at KG Feather, whom we agreed that we should do a formal letter to him. The letter in June 2019 to our senior pastor, and then we had a date. Our date was agreed, that was on 7th December 2019. So our pastor told us the date is available, we continue with our wedding plans. So the first thing that we did as a couple was to have a prayer committee. That committee was so great, so essential to our wedding plans. Our prayer committee enabled us to do so many things that couldn't have happened without prayers. And of course, in any project that you do, if you decide to put God before, trust me, my people, God will always come through for you, because you as a person, you have your own plans, and God himself, he has his plans towards our life. We may have been planning that we'll have a wedding in December, but God's plan are otherwise. So it's always good in every project that you do, my brothers and sisters, to always put God first in everything that you do, and trust me, that thing will be successful. So we formed a prayer committee, which we agreed to be meeting on a weekly basis in our house, so that we'll be praying for the prayer items that we had till the last day, the last weekend to the wedding. That's when we stopped. We had a very strong team of our prayer committee. They really pushed through prayers things to work. In our wedding, we agreed to have 300 guests. And then my husband and I agreed that we just have 5 guards and 5 maids. We didn't want children in our wedding for obvious reasons. So I decided, as a bride, I will do things early enough to avoid the last hour rush. I spoke to my girls. 3 of them were my sisters, one of them was a sister-in-law, and another one was a relative. I spoke to them, I talked to them, and then we agreed on the designs. So after the prayer committee, we had to choose best couple. So luckily enough, we landed on our relatives who are couple, who are our best couple. So may God bless them. They did a very wonderful job. They were always there for us to remind us, because they did their own wedding, so at least they had a first-hand experience on what's expected and what normally happens. So they helped us so much. They came through for us. God bless them. So together with our best couple, we formed our own group, my husband and I and our best couple, so we could communicate so easily through that WhatsApp group. To at least we had our own meeting daily through WhatsApp group. We really needed to know and the progress that we made each day. So I made sure that my maid's clothes were ready in due time. So when I went to the fundi, I didn't tell her the exact date of my wedding. So this is the trick, guys. If you have a wedding and you're going to your fundi, don't just tell her him the exact date of your wedding, because you'll be disappointed. The fundi, I told her 1 month, a late, which was 1 month earlier than my exact date. So by doing that, actually my clothes were 2 months or even 3 months ready before the wedding. My maid's clothes were 2 months ready before the wedding, so that was tick. I was so happy about it. Their shoes were also ready and other things. I did have a problem in procuring my wedding gown. I just saw a wedding gown online and I liked it, and then I called the vendor. I met the vendor here in Nairobi, and then she promised me that she will get it for me. So I had my wedding gown early enough. And then another thing that I did was securing a reception area. I visited various places that are closer to our church, but unluckily I didn't get them. I eventually got a reception area at Chichami. Our best couple, they came through for us. They provided for us a caterer, they provided for us a deco person, they provided for us a photographer and a videographer. They referred to us, and through them we were able to get our DJ and our MC. So I wouldn't say we had so much trouble when it came to service providers. We met with them, we agreed on the services that they needed to provide in our wedding, and then we made part payments while signing contracts. So always make sure that when you are engaging these service providers in your wedding, use referrals from those people who have previously had weddings, and then make sure you've signed contracts with them and you've agreed on what you want. So that's what we did, actually. That's what we did. And then yeah, we were so happy. We had secured all the service providers that we needed. So the groom, together with his guards, they also arranged themselves. They collected their suits, they collected whatever they needed, so they were also ready. So fast forward to December, we were now doing the final touches to make final payments. But I can't forget the cake. Our cake we procured at Cake City in Westland. And then that cake was bought for by my two friends, Nelly and Caro. Thank you so much for the cake that you bought for me. The cake was in plenty, it was a lot. Thumbs up to Cake City, your cake was so well done. On the eve of our wedding, we met various service providers. We agreed on what we really wanted to happen on our wedding. December, it was raining so much, so even the day just before our wedding, it rained. Actually, it rained so much in December, so we were just so scared. We couldn't think of postponing our wedding because we had paid so many service providers, and then our cards, we already printed them, so we had no option. It's actually in December, it rained back to back, day night, day night, day night, day night. So we had a problem. So when I went to procure the reception area, that the person in charge told me that whenever it rains, this place is just okay. It's not muddy. So I was so happy about it because in December it rained so much. So on a day before our wedding, we visited the reception area. Our decor person told us, no, you guys need to find option B, because this place, you could just see it with your eyes. That place was flooded with water. There's nowhere she could put tents, nowhere guests could step. So no place where guests could even sit. So she told us, no, you guys, you need to find option B, because this place, the way it is, I can't even start installing my tents and chairs and doing decor from here, because this place, it's already messy. Hey, we were so stressed up, we didn't know what to do. But then luckily enough, the place that we had secured, a reception area, it had another field which was smaller than the one that we wanted. So we agreed with the people in charge, and then they allowed us to have an option B, which was somehow better off than the one that we had procured. So I was so disappointed at that particular time. So always, I don't know how you'll know it, because really at that time that I was going to procure for that place, at the time I was looking for a reception area, it was dry, it wasn't raining. So when I asked that person, the people in charge, whether the place becomes messy when it rains, they lied to me. But thank God we had option B, where our decor person was able to do her things from there. So that one, it was settled. So on our wedding day, we prayed to God so much to give us some sunshine, to hold the rains until our ceremony was over. So in the morning, it started drizzling where I spent, and then I started getting worried, but I trusted God that everything would be okay. So our makeup person came, my girls were ready, I was also ready. I thank God for my maid of honor, because she was so punctual. She was so punctual. By the way, she's available for hire. If you need her, I can talk to her. She was so punctual. Like by 7 we were ready. By 7 we were ready. So it started drizzling, but she told me, don't worry, this is just drizzle, there'll be no rain the day. So I hoped for the best, but at the same time prepared for the worst. So lucky enough, I had bought a sweater. So I was just ready, prepared in the event of anything. Okay, so my hubby and his people came, they took us, we went to church. We were lucky, we weren't late, so our fees was returned back to us. In church, our pastor preached. We were so happy about in church. The decor was on point in church, and We were happy about it. We thank God the ceremony ended, and then we went for photo shoot. The place was marvelous, and actually our photo shoot, we went to Buruburu. The place was okay, was nice, was perfect. And for a photo shoot, we thank God we didn't pay anything. The same was just given to us free of charge. So to our reception, that's where I didn't see things that I expected actually. But thank God, I don't know what happened that day. Because I was in my jovial moods, I didn't realize it. I came to realize it later, way later, that the decor person, we agreed with her that I didn't want satin chair clothes. I wanted spandex. In our conversation, I don't know whether she was listening or not, but I was so disappointed at her. She didn't do what I really wanted, because I talked to her that I wanted spandex chair clothes, but instead she decided to bring in satin. Thank God, I realized way later. Again, the decor person we spoke, we agreed about the centerpieces. She didn't do that. I don't know what she brought. I was again disappointed at her to that extent. So another service provider that I was so much annoyed with was the caterer. The caterer, we fully told him we wanted dry fried chicken. Him, instead, he went and marinated the chicken and brought us stew chicken. I didn't even have the energy. Of course, I couldn't even tell him anything during that day. Neither have I ever told him even to now what happened. But I was just so disappointed, because I expected to see dry fried chicken, not stewed chicken. So again, at that particular service provider, I was so much annoyed with them. And then the DJ was okay. The DJ was okay. The music was okay. The MC was okay. I thank God for that. And thank God, guess what? It didn't rain until way towards the end of our ceremony. That's when it started drizzling, but it didn't even rain. It just drizzled for some time and then it stopped. We thank God for the cake. The cake was perfect. Thank God for Cake City. The cake was so perfect. I liked it. It was a lot. We ate to satisfaction. So apart from such few disappointments, I was happy the day went well the way I had expected, and we thank God for our wedding. And we went to the airport, went to our honeymoon, which is a story for another day. So wedding planning committee, they did a fantastic job. They were there, and we thank God for them. So when it comes to transport, actually we didn't pay for any transport for our wedding. We thank God for my husband's workmates. They came through, the office came through for him. They provided cars for us. I thank God for them. We didn't pay anything, but I was just again disappointed at some of my friends, because there were some who had promised me they will give me vehicle, but on the eve of a wedding day they called me to give me that disappointing call that they'll not make it. So but trust God, we had plenty of vehicle. We thank God we had plenty of vehicles. despite the disappointment. Thank God for those who came through for us. We had our WhatsApp consist of our friends who contributed something little towards seeing the success of our wedding. They came through for us and we thank them so much. We thank God for our family members who are there for us from this moment we started planning our wedding to till when we came back from our honeymoon. We thank God for you so much. May God bless you. I thank our church. I thank all the service providers. I thank all the friends who came, brought gifts, and came and witnessed our big day. I thank you so much. May God bless you. So mine is just to say, when you're planning for a wedding, it's not a difficult task. Even with 100 shillings, you can still do your wedding. But with 1,000 shillings, you can actually do your wedding. Just depends from what angle are you looking at. So with those few remarks about my wedding journey experience,